More than 300 Nigerian students are currently in captivity. This figure is inclusive of the 112 Chibok girls held since 2014, plus the 227 kidnapped between December 2020 and now. This is causing great concern in the nation. Correspondent Amaka Okoye has been following the abduction stories, and she brings us a report on this.
6 years after, 112 girls kidnapped from the government secondary school Chibok are still in captivity. And since December 2020 and now, 227 others are still languishing in bandits' dens. In the last 7 months, Nigeria has recorded about 9 known mass abductions from about 6 northern states. These are students from secondary schools and tertiary institutions, and very recently, a religious school, Makaranta Islamia, with children less than 10 years of age. First, it was Kankara in Katsina State. Over 300 students were kidnapped, tortured, starved, and traumatized. Parents and loved ones waited in agony. After spending over a week, they were released.
Those are the children right there on the screen, and this is very touching. These are very young children.
But in less than 2 months of that attack, yet another school fell prey. Government Science College in Kankara, where a school pupil was killed and 27 others abducted by armed men at about 3 a.m. from their school. But before this, in the same state, some travelers on board a Niger State Transport Authority bus were abducted, released after several days, and among them were suckling mothers and infants. It didn't stop there. 9 days after the release of the Kankara students, armed men stormed yet another government school, Government Girls Junior Secondary School, Jengebe, abducting 279 female students aged between 10 and 17. In just 3 months, 3 government schools had been raided by armed bandits.
I
thought these people are soldiers, and I was told they are not soldiers but armed bandits. They pushed us around, and I even thought they were teachers trying to wake us up. But no, they asked us to begin to move, and right inside the school they started shooting.
When it happened, I was in my store where I sell timber, and one of the carpenters called me and told me what had happened. He said, "My son has been shot." I wasn't feeling well then myself, so I begged them to bring him to me. He had been shot on the stomach and his intestines out.
From the inside, they had started identifying the girls. Some parents had seen their daughters already. Then suddenly from outside, I could hear gunshots. Several shootings outside the school gate. Just like when thieves enter a town and open fire, that is how the shooting was. I became afraid and decided to leave for safety. Getting to the front of the gate, I realized I had been shot.
Their release again was secured after days of negotiations. The details of these negotiations remain unclear. Then the first on a tertiary institution happened. It was College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka.
My room was the first room they entered. There was no light, and this was at 11:15 p.m. We're lying down, most of us wearing our boxers because the weather was hot. They entered and started saying, "Come out."
It's now over 3 weeks when armed gunmen kidnapped students from the school where I'm standing, the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization. And as we speak, they are still in captivity. No one knows when they will be released. The governor of the state has said that he is not going to back down in terms of negotiating with bandits. But the parents and relatives of these people are angling and asking when will their loved ones be released and how. And since then, Kaduna has had several other abductions.
They are taken and we can't say anything. What is the government saying about this thing? Is now Nigeria not safe for anybody to go to school again? Can't we go to school?
While most of these happened either at night or wee hours, the scenario was different when bandits struck in Niger State. Tegina Makaranta Islamia, an Islamic religious school, was attacked in broad daylight. Dozens of school children were abducted and still in captivity. The abduction came a day after 14 students from a university in Kaduna, northwestern Nigeria, were freed, having spent 40 days in captivity.
They took them to bush. They are sleeping on the ground. No leaf, no mat. How do you expect them to live like that?
Alaje, oh my gosh.
The government, are we not Nigerians? Are we not Nigerians? That the government cannot intervene into this issue?
While these Islamia pupils are still in captivity, bandits stormed Federal Government College, Birnin Yauri in Kebbi State, also in the northwest, and kidnapped some of its students and staff. The figure still unclear.
Policemen who are providing security to the school and overpowered them and made away with, unfortunately, some of our children, some teachers, and other employees of the school.
The overall impact of these attacks are huge. What is the future of education in these volatile states? Data puts the north of Nigeria with one with highest out-of-school children. How about their social well-being? The trauma, the psychological effect, and economic impact. Since December of 2020 to date, nearly 1,000 students have been kidnapped from their schools, leading to the closure of such schools and leaving them with no place to learn. Armed wielding bandits responsible for all of them. About 227 persons are still languishing in bandits' den, and dozens of lives lost as a result of these mass abductions and kidnapping. The question remains, where is the Nigerian government in all of this? And when will these myriads of abductions stop? Amaka Okoye, Arise News.
Well, brilliant questions there by Amaka Okoye. But the bigger question is, what do you say about a country that cannot protect its most vulnerable persons? Children are particularly vulnerable. Persons with disability are particularly vulnerable. Women are particularly vulnerable. And on all fronts, Nigeria fails its citizens.
And the focus is on Kano and Igboho, while bandits run rampant. It's ridiculous.
And if you look at the front page of This Day Today, This Day newspaper in its lead story is saying UNICEF urges more protection for children. Schools says 950 abducted. That 950 may probably be an underestimation.
Yes.
The number could be higher. And in the last 6 weeks, we're told that over 500 students have been abducted. And a higher number of schools this year alone have had to be shut down because the schools are not safe. In a country that has, as the report by Amaka Okoye pointed out, over 10 million children are out of school, you would think that such a country would take the protection of the schools more seriously. What even makes it more tragic is that this is concentrated in a vulnerable part of the country that has been lagging behind with regard to education. I was talking with someone yesterday about boarding schools in the South, and the person was saying, no, boarding schools in the South are safe. It's in the North that boarding schools are not safe. And yet it's the northern part of Nigeria that needs to do a lot more with regard to education. Northern leaders, I keep saying, have been holding meetings about education, how to increase school enrollment since 1959. They've not been able to push the needle since then. Everybody says it's feudalism, but look, there are enough enlightened persons in the northern part of Nigeria for them to realize that, look, we're in the age of competition. We're in an age where skills are far more important than ethnicity or religion. And yet, why have they not been able to make a difference?
And yet, you have southern governors requesting or calling for a southern president, and some saying that will weaken the North. If that's what it's going to take to weaken the North, then I'm sorry, it's a disaster. What is weakening the North is the activities of bandits, terrorists, and what have you, not cause for a southern president. Talk about missing the point entirely.
In all of this, let's not forget the words of marble by the defense minister that says, who are the bandits? Go after them. Protect yourself. I remember back in the days when we were young, what we used to do? We'll fight them back when we're strong. So who are the bandits? Go after them, protect yourself. These were the words of the defense minister. Let's not forget.
We'll fight them with catapults.
We'll fight them with catapults.
As was suggested.
Those are the words.
Slingshot.